Hello there and welcome back to another video. It's Max from maxjancar.com. In this one, we're talking about the common concern, what if your ex never reaches out? If you want to go deeper into getting an ex back, I urge you download my reattraction cheat sheet, link in the description down below. But anyway, let's get right into it. So what if your ex really never reaches out? What if this is it? What if maybe you never hear from them again? What if the text that you send yesterday, the conversation you had maybe last week, what if that's the last text, the last conversation that you'll ever have with them? These are all very real and legit fears we all share when we go into no contact, especially for the first few weeks or even in some cases the first few months of no contact. That is, when we go no contact the right way, which is basically indefinitely, or put another way, until our ex reaches out first, at which point we invite them on a date and simply start the whole reattraction process. More on that in my video on how to get an ex back that I will link somewhere here right now for you. As a side note, please forget everything about the 30, 45, 60-day no contact and whatnot. These are all tricks, they don't work. Again, I go deeper into this topic of why they don't work in my video on how to get an ex back. So I urge you, check that out if you're interested to know more. But to get back to the main topic, the reason these thoughts, fear-generated thoughts about your ex never contacting you again is because they only make you feel worse about yourself. Like maybe your ex hasn't even ended the relationship but just asked for a temporary break. However, thinking how they never will reach out again only fuels your anxiety, makes you do really unattractive behaviors like chasing after them, showing up at their doorstep unannounced, texting and calling ever so frequently, and all of these things combined over a certain period, a certain longer period, they result in your ex rejecting you for good and actually never coming back. So in a way, when you're fueled by this sort of anxiety that stems from this whole belief about your ex never reaching out again, you will become desperate, and that's just in any way you look at it, very unattractive, and it will not help the reattraction process even in the slightest, obviously. So here are a couple of tips to calm down a bit, to stop thinking so much and stressing and obsessing about whether your ex will contact you down the line or not. The first tip being, know that you don't know what will actually happen. Your ex may contact you down the line or they may not, but you don't really know this. So it's really stupid and it's just not worth it, if you ask me, to make these emotionally charged guesses whether that will happen or won't happen. You're only going to stress yourself out, and like I said, that will open up the doors to more unattractive behaviors down the line, which will inevitably in turn sabotage the whole reconciliation process and make it way harder for you to get back with your ex. The second tip I'm gonna give you is to always assume your ex is never coming back. This mindset will keep your expectations low, and with it, it will also decrease your stress and anxiety. And if you really buy into it, and you can call this delusional positivity, but the good kind, you may even increase your resilience to the whole situation, which is a great benefit. The third tip, realize that the more distance you put between yourself and your ex, the likelier it is that they will reach out eventually. As cheesy as it sounds, distance and space truly does make the heart grow fonder. And I want you to leverage this psychological quirk. In other words, to make it a bit more understandable, pull away from them, go into no contact yourself, and start working on yourself in that time that you're not interacting with your ex. And when I say working on yourself, I mean resolving your emotional issues, learning from the breakup, learning from your past relationship, like what mistakes you've done, and then try not to repeat them in your next relationship, be that with your ex or with someone new, or even in a totally casual date kind of a context. So talking of working on yourself, the next tip is to focus on what you can really control. Because you can't control your ex. You can't control the outcome that they will choose. That is, whether they will give you another shot or they won't. You can't control any of that. However, you can always control yourself. Maybe not your emotions, maybe not your thoughts, but definitely your behavior. So you can control how you act, how you show up, what you say or do. Like, you can control whether you will beg your ex to come back or not. You can control whether you will try to bribe them with gifts or compliments to give you another shot. You can control whether you will stick to no contact or you won't. You get the idea. Focus on what you can control and forget about everything else. That's it. And while you're at it, here's another tip. Consider the following mindset shift. The worst has already happened. Your partner already left you. You have basically nothing going on in your romantic life, and that's fine. It cannot get in this area any worse, really. In other words, the worst is already over, and for most people watching this video, things will get just better from here, whether you get back with your ex at the end or not. Because let's be honest, all you're really going through is a breakup. I'm not trying to downplay your breakup, of course. I know it sucks, it hurts, I've been through many breakups myself. I'm just saying that there are way harder shit, way more difficult and painful stuff going on in the world, So in a way, I would even encourage you, be grateful that you're only going through a breakup. I mean, we can compare the whole thing to things like cancer or your kids dying or the whole Ukraine-Russia thing. I think you get the point. But to give you one last tip, it's to focus on the basics. So I'm talking about things like working out, eating healthy, indulging in your hobbies, socializing more, meeting new people, investing in other relationships in your life, maybe like familial relationships, maybe friendships. I'm also talking about getting as much or as many responsibilities as you can, like child rearing, like schoolwork, like excelling in your career. Things of that nature. You can focus now on all of these things and you have a lot of time on your hands to actually go deep with it. And that will result in a lot of meaning and a lot of, genuine excitement in your life, all of which will help you keep your ex-related thoughts at bay. So you won't be as anxious or as needy or as fearful or as sad when you focus on the things that I just listed. Let me put it another way. Just be selfish. Now, you might say, okay, Max, but being selfish is wanting an ex back and I want my ex back. And I say, checkmate, but think of it this way. You want your selfishness to be way more actionable. And remember the tip I gave earlier. You can't control your ex. You can't snap your fingers and have your ex contact you or come back or whatever. So what's the solution? Be selfish over the things that you have control over. So things that usually relate to you, like your behaviors. That's what you should be selfish about. That's a healthier, more proactive, more empowering form of selfishness that you desperately need after a breakup. So thanks for watching. If you want to go deeper into getting an ex back, download my reattraction cheat sheet, link in the description down below, and I'll see you later. Take care.